ambitions. Despite all the conditions, in light of my past decisions, made it to this position, and so my disposition, not seeing no limits, killing the competition. Yeah, I'm a beast. Now I'm a least.
Hey everybody, welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous, episode 111. I'm your host Rico, here with my co-host
Dane Cody.
We get together once a week, talk about video games, TV, movies, and or whatever the hell we like. And this week, we'll be talking about some E3. Coming live to you from E3 is this asshole named Rico.
You're a son of a bitch.
Son of a mother effing bitch. Yep, I'm a jerk who is down here in LA. Excuse me for any background noise. There's barking dogs, there's cars going off, helicopter, the ghetto birds flying by, people getting shot. It's crazy. Okay, nobody's getting shot. I'm full of shit.
I was just going to say, that doesn't sound very good.
I'm not recording on my usual microphone, which is going to be pretty obvious, but instead of missing a show and or delaying this to when the information will be super way old in terms of internet life, we're making a compromise and recording on my laptop remotely, not from the show floor, but from our Airbnb.
Very nice.
What I was going to say, Dane.
Yes.
Did you manage to check out a bunch of the press conferences or not?
I watched all the Sony one. I caught all of the important stuff from the Microsoft one. I watched the EA one. I watched the Ubisoft one, and I watched the Microsoft or the Nintendo one.
Yeah, I didn't watch the Ubisoft one. I was dealing with getting off planes and stuff. We had a whole bunch of drama and missed the Sony one. So we watched the rebroadcast when we got back to the hotel room. Which is okay. We just didn't see it live. But I don't know if anyone noticed on Monday, I kind of disappeared from the internet for probably about 6 to 8 hours. I was really avoiding spoilers and stuff because I didn't get to see them. So I didn't want to go on Twitter or anything and get spoiled. I just wanted to have an initial reaction as if I was watching it live.
Fair enough.
And I don't think I didn't see the EA one because it was my daughter's birthday on Saturday. But I did watch the Microsoft one. What else? Which other one was on Sunday? Oh, Bethesda.
The Bethesda one.
I saw Bethesda as well.
I didn't watch theirs either. But
EA. I didn't see it, but that new game they showed, A Way Out, looks really neat.
I agree. It's like a prison escape co-op third person action.
Yeah, co-op prison break, and also puzzle game / adventure game.
Yeah.
From the guys who did Brothers, which was similar. You controlled two characters as well. This is obviously quite bigger in scale than that original game.
Well, and they've said that this is they didn't specify whether or not you could play it without somebody or not, but they did flat out say that it was designed very much to be played co-op with a friend, local co-op.
I haven't seen it on the show floor because EA is not here. They had
because they had their own EA Play thing that was going on.
Yeah, and that was in Hollywood, and it actually isn't part of E3 proper.
No.
So I don't know if it was there. I did see the same guy that was in the press conference. I guess that was the game director, producer. I'm not sure the guy with the accent because he's like Swedish or something, right? I think he said the team back in Sweden or Switzerland or something. I can't remember.
I think it was.
I saw him on the show floor. He was actually doing an interview with some people, and I saw him, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the guy from the press conference. So, but I haven't seen the game on the show floor anywhere. That was definitely a cool surprise on the EA front. With a new IP, a new unique IP at that.
Yeah, and it looks really cool. It looks interesting, as it's Prison Break, but it sounds like you can.
There's much more than that.
Looks like, yeah, and it looks like that you can handle things very differently.
Yeah, multiple ways to handle any situation. I guess that's just the starting of the game, which sets up the friendship of the two characters.
Yeah, exactly.
It is definitely aimed towards being couch co-op by the looks of it.
Yep.
Of course, you could play online as well.
I don't know if they've said it, actually if you can play online or not.
I think you can. But I think it's.
I know they definitely said couch co-op.
I think it's 100%.
The only thing I'm not
co-op,
sure about.
It's definitely 100% co-op.
Yeah. It's designed to be played together with somebody. So
what else? They showed some Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah, they showed a bunch of Star. They actually showed a whole bunch of Star Wars Battlefront 2. They didn't show any of the single player stuff besides a short trailer for it.
I saw that.
But they did show off almost like an entire match of the multiplayer during their press conference.
It's a beautiful looking game. The first one was amazing.
Very
looking.
Pretty. Yeah,
it
looks really pretty.
That is here. It's in the Sony booth. Okay. I haven't played it because they just have the multiplayer, and I'm like, I kind of know what we're getting there. It looks prettier and has new characters. There's obviously going to probably be some new mechanics, considering it's a sequel, but it's not high on my list to have to wait to play because unfortunately Sony is super busy, so I haven't been able to get any appointments with them.
Okay, fair enough.
And then they trotted out there all their sports stuff.
Yeah, a ton of sports stuff.
They added the career kind of single player mode for Madden, wasn't it?
Yeah, they've got like a whole. They're also doing like a similar type thing with their new NBA game as well. So they're showing off more single player. You start on the streets and manage to get to the NBA, and they're doing a similar thing with the Madden where you start in I don't know if it's high school or college, but you start there, and the idea is obviously to get to the NFL and to make a name for yourself, and obviously there's more story stuff and
they tease some pictures of it on Scorpio.
Yeah,
look at how cool
a lot of the
this
stuff
looks.
a lot of the stuff. I mean, obviously, all the stuff at the Microsoft was pretty much everything I think was running on Scorpio.
Yeah. Oh, you mean EA?
No, I meant the Microsoft.
Oh, even
they didn't specify a lot of the time at
conference too.
Yeah.
But yeah, the EA they alluded to Scorpio a lot during the EA one.
Yeah,
not an amazing conference. Like A Way Out was a nice surprise.
Yeah, the new game from the BioWare team in Edmonton was super cool.
The thing they teased at the end at the EA conference, which unfortunately, I think EA's thunder got kind of stolen because they only teased it there, and then that was actually properly revealed gameplay-wise at the Microsoft press conference. Even though it's a BioWare EA game, which, if that was during the EA press conference, people would have been, holy shit! And it was, but not to the extent or depth of what we saw at Microsoft's press conference. Yeah, Anthem. It is not on the show floor that I know of. That game looks freaking amazing.
Yeah, it looks like a cross between Mass Effect and Destiny
and Iron Man. It's Casey Hudson, Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3's game director. I think that's his name, right? It's the original Mass Effect team. It's the writer from Mass Effect 1. It's
BioWare Edmonton, right?
It's the writer from Mass Effect 1. It's the original Mass Effect team, because Andromeda was a different team. So this is essentially the next thing after Mass Effect proper. They've moved on. They wanted to do something new, and it looks freaking awesome.
It looks cool. It
has a lot.
It's interesting. I want to know a lot more about it.
It's a long ways off. It's definitely next year at the earliest. But from what I saw, like you got in the trailer, there was like location discovery like achievements kind of going off. So it's obviously a big open world. Yep. So a la Destiny and World of Warcraft, when you roll into a new zone, they had superpowers. The different suits obviously all played different. They were like different classes.
It sounds like you're going to be able to upgrade and augment the suits.
It looked like there was loot and, like you said, quite a bit of customization, because the way that trailer ended, where they had the whole party going into, I guess, what you would call a dungeon or a raid. They have no name for it, but you had your 4 players were on the screen, and they all looked very different.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
That game looks from what I've seen and the pedigree of that studio, I doubt that game's going to disappoint. It's unfortunate it's not at E3 here, because I would freaking love to see more of that.
Yeah, like I said, I want to know a lot more about it. I'm super curious. Is it more RPG? Is it more action? It looks fairly actiony, which is interesting for that studio. Yeah. Although I guess the first Mass Effect game was almost more action than RPG, and I think that they've added more
the RPG elements
into the later.
All the Mass Effect games has been pretty weak. Like,
right,
they're there, but I would never call any of the Mass Effects a real RPG. They had had aspects, but they were never very deep. So,
right.
So EA done. Microsoft with this early Sunday. It was a decent press conference. I found it kind of boring and dry.
Yeah, see, I didn't get to watch. I got to watch little bits of it here and there. We actually went and saw Wonder Woman.
Yeah, you said that. I saw
our
that. Our
tickets were for like 3:30.
Yeah,
and so we had a couple of things that we needed to do running around beforehand. So like just as it started is pretty much when I was leaving the house. So I watched like a little bit of it while we were driving around doing some like errands. I watched a bit here and there, but and obviously caught the main parts of it later on. Obviously, we got a name for the console.
Yeah, Xbox
Scorpio
One
is now the Xbox One X.
Photos.
So in other words, the acronym for that is Xbox.
Yeah. It leaked. The photos leaked and the name leaked like minutes before it was like revealed in the press conference. Like, poor Microsoft.
Right.
Not that it's a big deal.
No.
But
no, not at that point.
They definitely looked like they took a page out of Sony's book. It was game. Try to avoid boring, dry PR speak and marketing fucking idiots on stage going blah blah blah, saying shit just to piss off gamers, right? The message was, look at all these games.
I'm not going to lie, though. The one thing that was annoying about the EA conference was the amount of YouTubers and quote-unquote influencers that they tried to utilize throughout was just, it was awkward and painful.
Yeah, theirs was...
Some of them were really good. Like there was when they did towards the end of the press conference, when they were showing off the Battlefront 2 stuff, they had a couple, like they had Golden Boy, who's he's a announcer he's done all kinds of announcing. I know him from Smite. He's one of the announcers that they get for the World Series of Smite. So he was really good. He was on, and because he's used to that. And it showed, like, he was really used to being in front of a live audience and being in front of the live camera. But pretty much all of the other people that they had there, they just seemed really awkward and nervous, and it just felt weird. And I don't know. I understand what they were trying to do, but I feel like it was a miss in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I like the game stuff, but at the same time, I also do. It's so hit and miss when you put personality on the stage. Like, half the audience is going to love them and the other half is going to hate them, right?
Or they're just not going to know who they are, and they're not really going to care.
Yeah, and it's not going to get the impact that they were aiming for.
Yeah, and that's, I think, what happened with EA is some of the influencers that they got for the show, like, a bunch of them I'd never heard of at all. Which is fair, because I'm not really that demographic, I don't think. But, it was kind of a strange thing, because I just, like, they were, when some of them came on, you could hear some people go, "Yay!" And I was sitting there going like, I have no idea who this person is, you know. So I think it, like you said, it can either go one way or the other. But for me, it was definitely more of a I wish they wouldn't have situation. Like the one person I thought that was cool that they brought out was the voice of the Star Wars. Oh, what was her name? She was great. Like you could tell she was super nervous, but it was nervous happy, and she channeled it in a great way, and she came about really honestly. And by the end of it, she just seemed like she was having a great time with it, and she was just killing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Overall, it was interesting, and I'm glad that nobody else really followed their lead with that stuff, and left, for the most part, the big sort of, you know, influencers and personalities kind of out of it. But yeah, Microsoft's kind of went in these weird waves. I got the feeling of, I jumped in a few times and it was just people talking quite a bit. And I was like, really? Like, you're wasting a lot of time talking about stuff that I don't know that anybody necessarily cares, but I don't know. Maybe, you know.
I was kind of disappointed in it, and that there was I was hoping there was going to be a really fresh new IP for them, but obviously the timing's off with all their original stuff. And, you know, they showed off Forza. Here's Forza on Scorpio. It's amazing. It's so cool. Look at Scorpio or Xbox One X. I'm going to call it Scorpio for like a year until that name sticks in.
But I mean, I think we already kind of knew that Forza was going to be there because we already knew it was running on Scorpio.
So they showed Metro Exodus, which looks really is sequel. I think it is for the Metro franchise.
Yeah, I'm not sure where it falls.
They just showed
all I know is it's new for the Metro
a very
franchise.
good-looking Metro game.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
I've played the Metro games. Metro Last Light, obviously, was the last one, right? I think so.
Yes.
That was a great game. I really liked it. This game looks fantastic, and it was highlighting a lot of the stuff that we're accustomed to in the Metro type shooters. So that was cool, but I don't think that's like an exclusive. They showed off the first gameplay for Assassin's Creed Origins.
First gameplay there.
Really cool. I have played Assassin's Creed Origins. Actually, I played a lot of stuff in the Microsoft booth because the first day of the show, they had an after hours event. So after the show closed down, it's like, oh, here's the Xbox booth manned by devs as opposed to like event staff.
Oh,
so nice. It was like it was like a behind closed doors demo, but not behind closed doors. The devs just took over the demo stations at the booth.
Right.
So we played a lot of games in their booth. Like I played the Dragon Ball Fighters Z or whatever you want to call it. In the booth, I played Forza 7. I played Assassin's Creed there. Need for Speed Payback. Sea of Thieves.
So what is Sea of Thieves?
Sea of Thieves, actually, me and I call him my patron Jim. He's the guy who he's essentially the guy who made this trip possible. Because he let me crash on his couch, essentially. After I got my free badge from Sony. And anyway, disclosure, that was like a free badge not given to me exclusively from Sony. I won it. They were giving them away magically, and I just happened to be online when they were giving them away. So no way is this trip fueled by Sony or anything like that. So I just happened to be in the right place at the right time and got a free badge. And then, of course, I felt obliged after I got a badge. I'm like, well, I guess I got to go to E3 now. And long story short, I threw out on the internet in every corner, and awesome Jim freaking was like, yeah, you can crash with me. My buddy bailed, and fuck, we've had like an awesome show. It's just been all kinds of good shit happening. So
Right on.
Yeah, so we played Sea of Thieves. We played multiplayer. They had a 16-player match, so was it 4 players, Jim? Yeah, it was 4 players per crew.
Okay.
It's your crew controls basically a pirate ship. You've got a map. You've got a treasure map, essentially, which has a bunch of riddles on it, which helps you figure out where the potential treasure is. So now we played like a multiplayer mode. I don't know if this is the general multiplayer mode. It's still not coming out until 2018. So it's
okay.
It's a little. They said early 2018, I believe. So I don't know like what kind of single player or campaign type stuff there is. Basically, it was a time demo, so I don't know if it was I don't know how a full match plays out entirely. But what we did play is
okay.
We had our 4 guys. We started on an island. It's like we jump in the ship, and then you got to raise the anchor. And all 4 of you have to do it together. Well, you don't have to do it together, but it's much quicker when you do it together. The big thing about this game is cooperation. Like, you can't do anything by yourself. You have to lower the sails. You have to adjust the pitch of the sails. You have to have a guy in the bird's nest or eagle's nest to tell you if there's any rocks. Enemies or islands or rocks. Exactly. You have a guy in the hull of the ship looking at the map, trying to decipher the riddle of where the treasure potentially is. And meanwhile, your captain, you can't really see anything from the captain's deck when the sails are lowered all the way down. You have very poor visibility. So you really have to work together.
Interesting. Okay.
So once we got that figured out, we're like, okay, Jim identified the island we had to go to. There was an island on our map, the treasure map we had with 2 treasures. It was a chain of islands. And anyway, we were, coordinating, making our way there. I don't think we ran into any guys until we got there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't run into any enemies until we got there. So we didn't have any real ship combat yet. I think I crashed into the island on the way there because I left the wheel and just figured the ship would keep going straight, and it didn't. But we got to the island. At that point, another ship had shown up. I think that was the order. Did we take out the other ship and then a couple other guys scrambled to the island? Yeah. We took out the other enemy ship. You have to manually load all the cannons. It takes a while to load the cannons. You actually have to get the cannons from the mid deck, the cannonballs from the mid deck, carry them up to the top deck, load the cannons. Cannons only have one shot. You have to reload them. Takes time to reload.
Yeah, and then you got to go
and so forth.
Back down to the deck and get more
so
cannonballs.
So there's 4 cannons on each side. So we had a little mini battle. We sunk them. One of their guys tried swimming their way over to our ship and boarding us, which he did do, but we promptly killed him.
Shot him in the face?
Yeah, so in first person,
slashed him.
I don't know what they showed in I can't exactly remember what they showed in the trailer, but it's first person, right?
Yeah, they showed that. They showed bits of a kind of a mission. They showed up at an island.
Sword,
they jumped
you have
off.
your cutlass, and you have a pistol. You also only have so many shots in your pistol, and then you have to go get more ammo from a crate on the mid deck. There's also provisions like bananas, which people have made fun of on the internet. I've seen about how you eat the bananas to recover your health. But
you don't even have to peel them or anything. You just pop them in
eat
your
them
mouth.
like the handle end first. So people have made quite a bit of fun of that. But so there's also wooden planks as well on the midship. And after we sunk their ship, we killed the straggler who got on board. Like, it was a 4-on-1, so he didn't exactly have a chance. I don't think he killed any of us. We had some holes in our ship from taking cannon fire. So you actually have to patch the holes with the wooden planks. Meanwhile, 1 or 2 of your guys has to get a bucket and drain the water.
Bail out the water.
And throw it overboard. Which is pretty freaking hilarious. But as you can see, if you're not talking to each other, it can quickly fall apart.
Right.
We managed to coordinate that, fixed our ship. We were just parked next to a little island, found a treasure. You got to reference the map. X marks the spot. And then, of course, dig up the treasure. Well, when you dig up the treasure, this is when like the NPC enemies like spawn, like they're skeletons. They're not happy. They don't want you to steal their treasure.
Right. They're choked that you're stealing their treasure. Yeah, so
you initiate, fight them. They weren't too difficult. I don't know if there's different enemy types. We only saw the skeletons.
Right.
It was pretty neat. We take the treasure back to our ship. Again, the other guys, I don't think we saw another ship, but there was other guys that tried sneaking onto our ship and taking our ship, or maybe it was the same guys who just respawned.
Okay.
But that was unsuccessful. That didn't happen. After we did that, we found the second treasure. And then I think I may have died once at that point. When you die, it's kind of funny. You go down to Davy Jones' locker. So it's like a ghost world.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So it's kind of like a little lobby where you can see the other enemies. And if your teammates are dead, you're all down there. It's just a creative respawn countdown area.
Right.
You couldn't really do anything in there except for screw around. I don't know if you could talk to the other players or not. I don't think so.
Yeah, they said you could.
Oh, Jim's saying you could talk to the other players while you're in there. Yeah, so
that's
they're
pretty funny.
Still a ways away. They gave out a website address. What was it? seaofthieves.com/insider, something like that. That you can potentially get into the beta.
Right.
So,
yeah.
They may have hyped that on the stream. It seems neat.
They did.
I'd like to know more about and then our demo timed out, so we didn't finish. So we don't know if we won. We definitely didn't lose. We still had a ship. We got 2 treasures, so we did okay.
Right.
So I'm interested to see is there a single player campaign? What else is it? This is one of those games that we had a lot of fun playing it, but it is going to greatly depend on the quality of your teammates, right? If you get some douche,
well, yeah, and everything that I've seen, it looks like it's a giant sort of MMO almost, where you run around with other people in the world and do stuff. So if it ends up that it's actually
just
multiplayer missions like that, I won't lie, it's a lot less interesting to me.
Yeah, to me as well, because if you don't have a good crew of guys, it could be a frustrating experience. We had a pretty decent crew. We did all right. So I had fun, but of course, I'm playing it in the most ideal situation, right?
Right.
We got a dev there kind of guiding us, helping us. Oh, you guys got to do this. You got to do that, right? And it really helped us, right? But you don't exactly get that amazing online, right? Coordination.
Yeah.
Just people are douchebags.
So helpful.
So the Microsoft press conference was really like trailer, something like 42 games apparently they showed.
I thought it was 22, but yeah.
No, apparently it was 42 they announced in total. Really? Yeah. And of course not all.
Oh, I guess maybe announced.
I think the majority of them were not exclusives. Crackdown 3 was there. I played Crackdown 3 as well. That was at the Microsoft event.
So is it more Crackdown 1 or more Crackdown 2?
It's more Crackdown 1.
That's
it seems pretty cool. I don't know what the demo...
You're playing it on Xbox One X?
Oh, I think all of their demos were on Xbox One X's, I believe.
That would make sense.
It seems like they all were. I probably should have adjusted the controls when I was playing it because it was very fast and very twitchy. But it's Crackdown, the lockdown, shooting, collecting orbs, leveling up your agility, your strength, your driving. So
you're collecting those orbs
again?
again?
Definitely looked like I can't remember. It probably looks 1,000 times better than the old ones. But it felt like, hey, I've been here before. I've done this before. There's definitely like some boss guys that I ran into, like this big giant robot that I was fighting that was attacking like a subway station.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's got like it was what was the mode? It was like a score rush mode. It was on a 10-minute timer, so it wasn't necessarily like campaign. It wasn't a campaign demo.
Oh, okay.
But obviously,
so it wasn't just like they were like, here, have a fun with the
it's
world
more
kind of
like
thing.
here. This is the gameplay. You're going to see a bunch of the core concepts of the game in a short amount of time. It seemed like the orb progression was accelerated because I was, after a few orbs, I was jumping really high and I was doing big giant ground pounds immediately, which I don't remember.
Right. So they probably, like you said, they probably accelerated that so that, people kind of got a taste of what it would feel like down the road when they played it a bit.
But if you remember last week's episode, I'm like, they got to show this game or it ain't coming out. They showed it. It's real. I played it and it isn't a steaming pile of shit. So that's a good sign. Thing. Like, I don't know if I'm going to pick it up. I liked Crackdown, but I didn't love Crackdown.
See, I loved the first one. The first one was really good. I did
really get into the first one, but I don't know.
But the second one, I wasn't.
Yeah, the second one was a disaster. It's that was a surprise in the press conference because I honestly had a feeling that game was in a lot of trouble and that it wasn't coming.
Yeah, I mean, by the sounds of it, it kind of was, but it sounds like a large part of why it kind of went back to the drawing board is because they reworked the engine and stuff a lot, because initially it was supposed to be running entirely in the cloud and stuff like that, right? So
that
whereas it sounds like now is like the multiplayer is in the cloud, but the single player is not, and
they had PUBG there on Xbox.
That was a pretty huge announcement for the Xbox guys.
It's a console exclusive, but I think it's only for a short time. They didn't really define that, but I'm on the show floor, so it's kind of hard to get the finer details on some of this stuff. I didn't talk to anyone.
Yeah, I mean, right now they're the only ones that are sort of talking about it.
Yeah, it's going to be. I believe it's a console exclusive for a certain amount of time, not a indefinite. I thought I heard something like 3 months or 6 months, not something major. But it's going to be the first place to play it on console, which is a pretty big get because that's like possibly one of the hottest games right now.
Yeah. Well, part of the reason why it's coming out on Xbox as well is because they have the early access thing, right? So it's coming to Xbox One in early access. So it's not.
It looked good. It honestly, I feel like it looked a little better than the PC version. So I don't know if they added more effects just to make it a more polished experience, or maybe it's a newer version that hasn't come out yet on PC.
Could be a different build.
I feel like I had, because when I played this game on PC, I have everything on Ultra. Except for foliage. I have that one turned all the way down because that one gives you an advantage visibility-wise when you're playing the game. But I don't recall seeing a lot of the reflections and the effects that I saw on the demo they're showing at the show floor here. So it could just be a newer version that isn't quite out yet.
It could be. Or they could have just worked a whole bunch of time into the Xbox One and sort of, been working on making it look good and stuff.
The Ori announcement was kind of nice.
I thought that was cool.
What else? A lot of stuff is stuff that we already know exists. We've seen trailers for already. Like Code Vein, Tacoma, Black Desert Online.
All that stuff has already either been announced or we already knew was coming. It wasn't a bad
press conference. There was a lot of negativity that the vibe I'm getting around here on the show floor. A lot of people don't like that price of the Xbox One X. They kind of feel like that's a bad move.
Yeah, so for anybody who doesn't know, they announced the price is $500 American.
And I already saw $4.99. $5.99 Canadian.
Is it really $5.99
Canadian? Yeah.
I was worried it was going to be $6.50.
That's what I thought it was going to be. Using the conversion rates, that's what you would think it would be. But no, I saw $5.99, I believe, in the press release. And it's November 7th is the release date.
Yeah, like that's That's a hard pill to swallow because that's $100. That's $100 more than the PlayStation Pro.
And there was some negativity around the whole thing, like Destiny 2 on Xbox One X is still only 30 frames a second.
Yeah, it's 30 frames on all the consoles and
unlocked on PC.
Unlocked on PC.
Which, by the way, oh my god. Wow. That game on PC looks amazeballs.
Yeah.
It is so smooth. So I played Destiny 2.
Yeah.
At the Sony booth.
Lucky bastard. Okay.
Sony actually they're doing the same thing they did at PAX, where you use the app and you make an appointment. So I've just been able to. Nice. It's the only place I haven't had appointments, and I've just been using the app and being able to just go play the games. It's almost like a fast pass at Disneyland, which works out really good. It sucks for fans who don't know about the app until way too late, because they probably won't get a time. But for us who knew about it right away, because I'm like, you know what? They're probably using the same system at PAX. I kind of thought about it before the show started, and we immediately, like, that was the first game that I saw at E3 was Destiny 2 on PS4.
Right.
I saw I played the Strike. I don't know if it was the PlayStation exclusive Strike, because but you played a Strike? I played a Strike because that guy who was manning that booth was clearly event staff. He didn't know any of the answers to any of my questions. And it's kind of cool. Destiny 2 has 3 possible places you can play it. At Sony, the Nvidia booth, or the Activision booth, and they're all demoing different stuff. So Sony has a Strike. Nvidia has the opening mission that was revealed at the Destiny 2 event. Yep. And Activision has the PvP, which I don't care to play PvP because
just skip that one.
I love PvP in Destiny, don't get me wrong, but I want a good taste. The cool thing about the Strike on PS4, it was on a PS4 Pro at 4K. It's a nice visual upgrade to Destiny, the first Destiny.
I imagine.
In the Strike, you had every weapon type in your inventory. There was no gear, and you didn't get to choose your subclass. Each of the classes had... the Hunter and the Warlock had the new subclasses, and the Titan, they didn't have the Captain America because that's what I wanted to play. But they just had which one did they have on the Titan? I don't even know because I didn't play the Titan. But I played the Warlock because I wanted to rain some flames down on people with that sword because that looks so cool. And it's really fucking cool. I tried the new grenade launcher, the new submachine gun weapon types. It's really cool. Like, you can have 2 hand cannons if you want. The way they changed the dual
wield.
It's not dual wield, but it's not like primary, secondary, and then heavy. It's kinetic, and then power. So you can load whatever weapon types you want in the first 2 slots, essentially. So, like, if you only like pistols or hand cannons, you can have hand cannons in both your primary slots. I did not play a sword. I didn't have a sword in my inventory. A sniper rifle is considered a power weapon now. So it's not a secondary. It's a purple ammo type now. I don't know all the changes. Like, honestly, it's kind of hard to figure and see all that stuff out. But I like the Strike. It's very pretty. It is there is some weight to the Destiny 1.5 comments. It's not breaking. Obviously, a lot of stuff is quality of life, and obviously going to be a lot more better and refined content, which waits to be seen. Right. The Strike was cool. It was challenging. Like, it was not. I don't think it was on hard. We didn't do heroic. We almost failed. It was a big ass boss at the end that took some coordination. Much more difficult than most of the other Strikes I played, especially considering it wasn't like on the super hard difficulty, right? I don't think it was. I think it was just on normal, and usually normal Strikes are like, they're just a cakewalk.
Yeah, they're not usually overly difficult.
I guess to go back on track though. Microsoft.
That's good though. So what you're saying though is like Destiny on PC is dope.
So what I was getting at, so I played on
play.
PS4 and 4K 30. Awesome, nice visual upgrade. PC. My god. Oh my god, it looks so good. It looks even better, which I don't understand how that's possible. Well, obviously I know how it's possible because you got a freaking high-end computer running it. But on the monitors, it looked so smooth. It was like silky smooth. It's like, oh my god.
Well, I'm sure it's running at 1080.
They were running 4K with 1080 Ti's, single, not SLI.
Oh, not SLI.
It was
interesting.
Just event staff. They didn't. I asked, "Can you do this with just a regular 1080?"
Right.
He didn't know because he was just a fucking booth guy.
He
wasn't from NVIDIA or from Bungie.
Right.
But it looked really freaking good, man. Oh, it moves so fast. I wonder if they're going to make some kind of concession of like ramping up the difficulty or something, because zeroing in on headshots is so snappy, so much quicker. I'm excited.
Oh, yeah.
But then I'm also disappointed learning that it doesn't come out until late October.
I know, it's almost 2 months after everybody else.
So they're going to get me for 2 fucking copies, is what I told the guy at the Bungie booth. I'm like, you fuckers. And he's like, what? What did I do? I'm like, I'm going to buy this game twice. He laughed because he knew exactly what I was talking about. He didn't have an answer about...
You didn't happen to talk to anybody that could tell you if, for example, the people that played it on PS4, if there was any sort of thing that would allow you to pull your...
No, that's what I was going to say.
Account
he
over?
He didn't know anything about... I asked him and said, so since you assholes are making me buy this on PlayStation 4 first, and that's what I said. I called him an asshole. He laughed, of course.
Good.
And I said, now that I'm going to buy this on PS4, am I going to be able to transfer my progression character to the PC? And he said, we don't know at this moment. Like, he just basically had a no comment. So don't allude anything from what I've said. He really had no clue. I thought I heard or saw somewhere that you can. But
yeah, I heard that initially that they said that they were working on, because they said that they know that there's a lot of people that played it on the PS4 or the Xbox One, and they're going to want to play it on PC, and that even though the characters and gear and stuff doesn't transfer over, there is going to be certain things from that, from having, you know, a save or whatever from that initial game, that there will be, that they were looking into ways that they could make that come over, but they hadn't said whether or not that was a thing yet. So I'm hoping that is the case, because I would hate to have to, like, I don't know, lose out on all that just because I played it on PS4 first.
The Bethesda press conference happened that evening. A lot of people were kind of like meh on it. A lot of comments were, looks like Bethesda felt obligated to have a press conference because they did last year. Right. There was no real bombs. It was sequels to known quantities. Evil Within 2, though, looks phenomenal. Looks like a big improvement from the first game, visually at least. And people were, a lot of people were excited for that.
Yeah, the last Wolfenstein was a dope game.
That's on the show floor in the theater demo.
Okay.
So I don't care to see that.
Oh,
Wolfenstein is here as well. I don't know if it's playable or if it's a guided demo. The Wolfenstein trailer, I would say, was probably the highlight of the Bethesda show. A lot of people were really excited for that. Well, they actually, that's a lie. They did have a bunch of VR stuff. Skyrim's coming out for PS4.
Which
not here.
I'm not surprised.
Skyrim's coming out for Switch. I did not see it here anywhere. And then they announced the Doom VFR, virtual fucking reality mode. and the Fallout one, and those are both here. But it seems to be those are like appointment only, and when you
closed door appointment only.
No, they're not. It's funny. They're like appointment only, but they're like in glass like rooms that are totally visible from everyone from the outside, so you can see people being looking like idiots in VR.
Oh, awesome!
I don't know if I could try them. I haven't made an attempt to. I don't have a Vive, so it's really cool that they are doing big, AAA titles in VR. That's awesome.
I'm actually amazed that they're not out yet. That was the thing that kind of blew my mind because they announced
did a lot of custom stuff. It appears for Doom. Doom isn't exactly just a straight port. And I think the Fallout stuff has a lot of stuff reworked as well. I think they were just figuring a way to get them in VR in a way that makes sense or is worthwhile, not just dump it and like be like, here you go, here's your VR version of these. Right. They're really making them work for the platform. But yeah, their press conference was kind of meh. It's like most people were like, okay, that happened.
Expansion for, Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, Morrowind.
A variety of other sort of expansions for some of the other
the
games.
Destiny expansion. It's the first story mode expansion for, I believe, any Dishonored? Did they have expansions for the first one? I can't remember. That looked all right. I like Dishonored 2. Dishonored 2 is a great game.
Did. Yeah.
But yeah, that was Bethesda. I haven't really gone over to their booth because they're a bunch of awesome people. No, I'm just joking. I just don't know anyone there, and I can't get an appointment this short. And also, the stuff they have there is not like the mind-blowing stuff that I have to play. So, you got to make decisions, right?
Super.
You got to do triage on what you want to see.
Yeah.
And then the Ubisoft conference was on Monday. I didn't see it. I just went and saw all the trailers after the fact. Pretty known quantities, except for everyone was super happy about a Beyond a Good Evil 2 trailer, which unfortunately is just a CG trailer, and that game's still like 50 years away.
To be fair, though, let's be honest, that CG trailer was fucking dope.
It was pretty cool.
Even my wife watched it and she went, "Holy shit, that looks." It was
crazy. Really cool, but how much is that going to be in the game by the time the game eventually comes? Like, who? It was a make good gesture for the people who are dying for more, right? Because they teased that a few years ago originally.
Oh, dude, that was. I want to say that was PS3 when they teased that first Beyond Good and Evil.
2? Really? That long? I don't think it was that long.
No, it might not have been that long. It's been a long... Okay, then it was the first PS4 conference. It has to have been since 2013.
Yes, yeah, it might have been 2013, in fact, actually.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other... that their Amiibo-type space game.
That was so
Starlink.
Weird.
I just walked out of a demo for that today. I went to go visit Stone, and it's really fun. This is a funny story because some of our Canadian fans will recognize this name. Does the name Mark Saltzman ring a bell?
Oh, I hate that guy.
He's a nice guy. You just hate him because you kind of wish you were him, right? It's like I could be that guy.
That's always here in Canada. He's the
tech guy doing
that puts on the terrible tech
segments
stuff
at the start
in front
of
movie trailers and on like the news and stuff like that.
He's a big, legit Canadian tech journalist.
Yeah, but I always feel like all the advice that he's giving is terrible, which probably is why I don't like him.
But
whenever I see him, like he's recommending stuff, and I'm just like, no, don't recommend. Oh, you idiot.
Well, I hope he never listens to the podcast because you're going to make him very sad because I gave him my business card because he was a great gentleman. I think he was a nice, awesome dude. So hey
man, by all means, I'd love to talk to him, and I
just admire him because I see him and I'm like, I could do that. I could be that guy. I want to be that guy at the start of the movie. I want everyone to hate Rico at the start of the movie, giving away my tech gaming tips. So I'm like, I know that guy. And I'm like, I look at his badge and I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's you. I'm like, I just like, hey, I dig your little clips you do. And we started talking. And actually what happened was that a PR girl from Canada at Ubisoft, which I've never met her before, introduced herself.
Oh, cool.
And she's like, hey, you want to come in with Mark and come check out what's that name? What that game called? Starlink? Man, I just saw it.
Yeah, Starlink.
Is that what it was called, Jim? Or are you sleeping?
You build ships, and it's weird. It's like you build ships in real life, and they get built in the game.
Yeah,
and then
so
you use them to
basically
cruise across planets. And
so we got a demo. They didn't say I couldn't talk
Cool.
about it, so I'm going to talk about it, and hopefully they don't kill me. No one said I couldn't talk about it, so I'm usually when you can't talk about something, they tell you.
Or they make you sign something that says you can't talk
we didn't
about
sign
it.
anything either, but it was pretty cool. Like, she's just, boom, we walked in, closed doors, Ubisoft, we're checking out this new
Right
game.
on.
It's they're saying next fall at the earliest. It's actually being developed in Toronto by Ubisoft.
Yeah, that's what they
Toronto. It is basically No Man's Sky with a campaign mode with customizable amiibo type Skylanders type ships. You can actually take them apart, mix and match pieces. You can use
put on guns.
You
and
can
put
use
on rocket
any
launchers
pilot
and change the wings.
You can use any pilot with any ship, and they just determine your special powers. But basically, it was like space combat. The mission they showed, and then we crash landed on a planet. And on the planet, our ship was like in a hover mode, almost like a tank hovering low above the ground. They say the planets are the entire surface of the planet is handcrafted. There's factions, there's quests, there's like missions. Basically, we were looking for a power core to restore power so we could leave the orbit of the planet again because we crashed. But basically, your ship was like floating around, kind of Battlezone-esque on the ground. We weren't like flying above the ground. We were basically just hovering over it like a speeder.
Right, you're kind of like hovering around, almost like you said, in a tank.
So
almost.
the mission had like a boss fight. He was showing how you could mix up the weapons to create weapon combos due to like elemental weaknesses of enemies. You could just pull the ship right off mid-combat. It pauses. You put on a new ship, change ship types because there's advantages for speed, armor, power, and so forth. And you can you can even mix those pieces up, and it immediately happens on the screen. And your ship is actually on like a mount on your controller, so it's like you're holding a ship in your palm while you're playing.
So what platform did you play it on?
I didn't play anything. It was a dev demo. They're in pre-alpha.
Oh, okay.
So the developer was playing it in front of us. We got to touch the ships and stuff, and he was showing it to us, and showing all the.
What platform was he playing it on?
I believe it was on a PC. So
or I guess a better question would be, what controller was he using?
He was using an Xbox One controller.
Oh,
so, like I said, it's pre-alpha on PC. It looks really cool, and I'm already suckered because I love the ship design. I took a bunch of pictures of from the menus. They didn't want to. This might be something I can't really talk about, so I'll just tiptoe around it. There was more than the ships they showed, and there was more pilots as well. They didn't allude to how many there's going to be in the end. But it looks like I'm going to have another fucking thing to collect like amiibos because I really like them. They looked cool. And the fact that they actually do shit in the game is really cool. I really like the fact that the planets are handcrafted. The planets were just littered with stuff to do and enemies, and it looked really good.
So it didn't feel
It
weird
didn't feel
and
random
empty,
and just like janky, like No Man's Sky. And then they flew into the orbit, and he's like, yeah, you can go to that planet and that planet. And it had a campaign, it had like full like dialogue and other characters interacting with you. It looks cool. I think it has some serious potential. It's really cool that it's a Canadian developed new IP. So that was a nice surprise in the conference, of course, right?
Absolutely.
So I didn't see the Ubisoft one, so I have no idea what the energy was like, if there was any like terrible cuts or weird stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they had Miyamoto come out and they announced the new
Kingdom Rabbids.
Was it Mario and plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle? Which was like Mario plus Rabbids XCOM?
Yes, it is.
For lack of a better term, like it's a very similar.
We played that
battle type.
We played that this morning in the Nintendo booth.
Okay.
Like shout out to Nintendo on such late notice, hooking us up with an appointment. So they had every game, not every game. They had a bunch of games preloaded on a Switch, and it was like, okay, you've got an hour, you can play whatever you want. On. I'm just going to talk about Kingdom Rush. We'll come back to Nintendo because we're going to get to the Nintendo presser.
For sure.
Kingdom Rush you nailed it right on the head. It's XCOM with Mario and Rabbids. Cover, power-ups, using the environment to your advantage. There's weapons.
That was the feeling I got.
Scattered on the field. It looked pretty decent. I don't think it's a game for me per se, but it's cool to see that it's just not some crappy mashed up. Like they actually have a unique gameplay experience for both of these franchises they've never been in.
Right.
And
I think it's an interesting thing.
I got some footage. I'll try and put it on YouTube at some point. But it looked fun. It looked neat. I can't remember when they said that's coming out.
I think they said 2018 sometime. Yeah,
I don't think it was quite yet. What else was?
Yeah,
so they had Far Cry, Assassin's Creed.
They showed off the first real Far Cry 5 gameplay footage at their press conference.
So I watched that, and they've had multiple demos on the big screens here. I haven't played Far Cry 5. That's my goal for tomorrow, and to potentially see whatever new demo they're doing for South Park, Fractured Butthole.
They showed that off.
They showed that Skull and Crossbones. Is that the name?
Skull and Bones.
We played that. We played that today.
They did a surprisingly large demo of that. Actually,
we played that today.
Okay, cool. What part of it did you get to play?
We played a multiplayer match. So I didn't watch.
Okay, sounds like pretty much the exact same thing they showed off in the.
Yeah,
demo
it was a 5-on-5. Us versus another team.
Various different types of ships, right?
Yes, there's like 3 ship types, at least in this demo. There's the Bruiser, there's basically a tank, an assault, and a sniper class type ship. So I can't remember the exact names. I played as the Bruiser twice because I did really good the first time, and I'm like, I'm going to fuck up a good thing. I'm going to keep using this. We won both games. We decimated the other team. It's different, very different than Sea of Thieves, and that is like you control the ship yourself. There is no multiple players. You each have a ship and a different ship type. So I don't recall the name of the mode they dropped us into, but there was 5 of us, and basically they drop you in the map. I assume the other team is on the other side of the map, and you're on your side of the map. And in the opening throws of the match, there are merchant ships and other ships that are NPC ships that if you sink, you gain gold.
Right.
So the whole
it sounds very similar to what they showed in the conference. Then
basically, you collect a bunch of gold, and then after a certain point, it's like, oh, there's the other team. and then you can choose to coordinate or not. We coordinated quite well on our team. Calling out, I'm going to do this, you go after that guy, I go after this guy, and so forth. And it's basically like the ship combat from Black Flag or Assassin's Creed 3. You can shoot forward. I can't remember the name of the type of the forward cannons, which are like kind of designed for just destroying their masts. They've got like the chain, exactly. The cannonball or whatever. And then, of course, you've got your cannons on both sides of the ship, which you adjust the angles of the cannons. And the different class types, ship types, affected the range of your cannons as well. You can have a guy go up to the bird's nest to scan like far out as well, which is kind of neat. And then, of course, you're controlling your sails, like, full mast and all that stuff. And then you also have the mechanics of the wind, which direction the wind's going, affecting your speed. The class I had the big battling ram on the front, and I really liked ramming into other ships and then just finishing them off with a volley of cannon fire. Like I would ram into them and then turn hard to the one direction just to basically be point blank with my cannons and just tear them a new one. It is, like I said, it's kind of funny. I've talked about this before on the podcast about ripping the pirate ship battle being my favorite part. They basically made a game of that. Now, I don't know if there's a campaign part, if this is just a multiplayer game. They didn't really. Yeah,
the question that I had with that is, like, do you get off your ship?
I did not get off the ship.
Pirate elsewhere?
I did board ships, but that was like ships that were like in a critical state, and basically it was like just a cutscene where your guys just basically murdered everyone on the other ship. It was just it was like a finishing move. So I don't know.
So I'm just wondering, like, outside of, I guess like you said, I'm wondering if it's more
strictly
like just ship to ship combat, or if there's more to it when you get, like,
or if there's a single player campaign, or like none of the,
or is it more just ship to ship combat?
I'm pretty sure they said next year on that one as well. It was cool.
They showed off a bunch of stuff that were quite a ways out. It
was a pleasant surprise. Like, honestly, I love the pirate ship stuff. Like, as soon as I'm rolling in the ship and they're singing shanties, I'm like, this is what I remember. This is like the best part of Black Flag. I can't remember much else. Like I said, I didn't watch the Ubisoft one because I was like getting off the plane.
Yeah, I'm honestly trying to remember right now what some of the other things that they showed off were. Obviously, the big one was Beyond Good and Evil,
which was just a trailer.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, they still sort of announced it. What did they...
I have some press releases, but...
Give me 1 second.
I have press releases, but it probably doesn't make for very compelling podcasting.
Oh, they also announced The Crew 2, which includes cars, dirt bikes, planes, boats, and like a whole bunch of stuff this time around. So they announced that. They also announced a game called Transference, which is a creepy, super weird
VR game,
sort of a VR game.
Early in development.
Yes, very early. We already talked about Starlink, Far Cry 5, Beyond Good and Evil 2. They did show off a little show for, obviously, South Park. And then they also showed off the expansion for the upcoming Steep expansion for the Olympic stuff that they're adding.
I didn't even know about that. Yeah.
And that was pretty much everything they announced in there. So
then we were dealing with some drama on our end and missed the Sony press conference, but I watched it after live, and to be honest, it was good. But it wasn't like the last 2 years where it was like, holy fuck, Sony just dropped these crazy bombs.
I think that in their case, I think it's hard.
They're in a mid-cycle. They just released some humongous games.
Yeah, and I think that they're releasing more big games, but they still have a long ways to go probably before they can announce, because already they're announcing stuff that's 2-3 years out.
Yeah, like Last of Us.
So for them to announce even more things that are 4 or 5 years out, I think that's kind of a dick move on their part if they were to do that.
Yeah.
So I think that this is kind of their way of like, look, we got some great stuff coming, which you already knew about. Obviously, they showed off more God of War, which looks awesome. They've also, surprisingly, some of the games that I thought they were going to show off, they didn't show off in their press conference.
Like Gran Turismo wasn't even in it. It was like pre-reel or pre-show reel.
Yeah, exactly. Knack 2 was part of that as well. They didn't show any of that. So there was some stuff that I thought would definitely show up that
no Bloodborne 2.
No. Although to be fair, they did spend way more time with VR than I thought.
Yeah, remember how we were saying we weren't sure what they were going to do, and they actually had a big VR like chunk section. Yeah,
they had a big chunk in the middle that they just showed off a bunch of VR games, which was pretty cool.
All those games are playable here. All the VR games they showed, I believe all of them are playable on the show floor here. I had to make a choice on what I was going to play, so I chose to play Gran Turismo in VR. Because I figured that was this is like a big AAA game. I really want to see this. I don't really want to talk about it yet.
That's fair.
Because we're not done.
So they showed off Uncharted Lost Legacy.
That's here.
They started the show off
guided
with that.
demo here.
Yeah, and that's coming out August 22nd. So that one's coming soon. They announced a great big expansion for Horizon Zero Dawn. It's called The Frozen Wilds.
Yeah, that looked cool.
So that's pretty cool. Obviously, Days Gone, which they showed off last year.
That's here as well.
Showed off is coming again, and they showed off another cool demo. Personally, not overly into it myself because I'm kind of done with the whole zombie thing. They also announced Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
Yeah,
considering Monster Hunter hasn't been on a Sony platform since 3DS stole it from Vita or from PSP.
Yeah, so that one was kind of funny because it showed up in the Sony press conference, but it's also coming to Xbox One and eventually actually coming to PC at a later date. Yeah. They announced a re-release of Shadow of the Colossus.
That looks phenomenal. It looks beautiful.
But it's a full remaster. They're doing the full-on graphical upgrade remake. It
looks stunning. At first, I thought it was a new game because the visuals were so good compared to the original game.
Yeah. Then they showed off a bunch of Call of Duty World War II, which we already knew about. One of the new VR games that they announced was a Final Fantasy 15 fishing game called Monster of the Deep.
It actually has a best of show from IGN on their booth. Yeah,
really?
I'm like, what? I'm like, I thought that looked terrible during the press conference.
Interesting. Well, maybe it's fun to play. Obviously, like we already talked about, the new God of War.
God of War is not here. No,
really?
It's not on the show floor. Days Gone is.
Interesting. They're saying it's coming early 2018.
Spider-Man is on the show floor here.
That's how they ended the show with an awesome Spider-Man demo.
Spider-Man looks amazeballs.
It does.
I think we are going to go to that tomorrow. It is just a guided demo, but using the app, we'll be able to book an appointment to see that and see if it's something different than what they showed at the press conference. So we're going to try and do that tomorrow. Far Cry 5 and South Park, and then I think we're pretty much done. We might only do a half day tomorrow.
Sweet. And the other one was Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit.
Being
we
human.
played that. We played that
off
as well.
A bunch of.
That's a really cool looking game. It's visually wow, like holy balls. I guess the big reveal for Detroit was the 2 new playable characters in that cutscene or that demo during the press conference.
Yeah.
That's basically like a well-known actor from Grey's Anatomy. I can't remember his name that they revealed.
Yeah, my wife pointed that out while we were watching.
I know that guy.
Oh my god, is that the dude from Grey's Anatomy?
And it totally is.
Yeah,
I don't know who the girl is. I didn't recognize her. I didn't play it, but Jim played it, and I watched it over his shoulder.
Okay.
It's an evolution of Heavy Rain, obviously, right?
Same studio, same developers.
Your detective game, but wow, I was just blown away about how good it looked. I believe I think all the demos in the PlayStation booth are all PS4 Pros running at 4K. They have like the giant ass. I think it's an 80-inch, if not bigger, a 4K HDR display here as well. They have two of them in front of the Gran Turismo booth, and I'm like, wow.
Jeez.
I'm like, that's like $25,000 in TVs easily.
Well, when you're the ones that build them, do you know if they had their OLED TVs?
I don't think so. I don't know. I didn't notice anything
because they announced their OLEDs earlier.
Yeah, I didn't notice anything
coming out.
I didn't notice anything
apparently amazing,
extraordinary about any of the TVs there. But
yeah,
excuse me. They did. They did make it clear that like when I was playing Destiny, it's like this is in 4K.
Right.
What was I going to say? So yeah, Sony booth was the first one we hit. I talked about Destiny. Detroit, kind of a known quantity, but it looks great. I might actually be interested in it with the sci-fi angle. I haven't really cared for the other ones that much, story-wise. So right. Detroit might actually suck me in and be like my first game from that studio I know a lot of people find the games from those guys. They have their cult following, right? Like Indigo
I find
Prophecy and Heavy
I have
Rain
such a love-hate relationship with them myself because I love a lot of what they're doing, but I get annoyed with some of the more menial stuff that they ask you to do when you play them.
Some jankiness,
and that's where they always lose me. I'll be like, oh man, this is so cool. I'm a cop. I'm doing this stuff and I'm doing this and this is awesome. And then all of a sudden it'll like cut from that part over to like a dad and I have to like deal with my kid's birthday party and I gotta like pick up the toys and prep for the birthday and like that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, I don't want to do any of this. This is stupid. Yeah. And that's kind of where they lose me with those games, which is annoying. So.
What else did I play? So yeah, I guess that's pretty much the press conferences. It was good, but I think the last two have been so amazing that people were just like kind of, It was a lot of people here were kind of meh on all the press conferences, to be quite honest. But
well, I mean, like, let's talk about Nintendo's now.
Yeah, that's true. Nintendo, I think they just won by showing a title card to a video game.
Like, and all they said was it was in development. They didn't even say how long the way it is.
Freaking crazy everyone here went. We watched that sitting at our breakfast, streaming on our cell phones.
Right. Oh wow.
Yeah, new Yoshi looks cool. That Kirby game looks awesome.
Yeah.
Mario Odyssey, obviously, fan-freaking-tastic.
I'm not gonna lie. The more I see a Mario Odyssey, the weirder that game looks to me. Like you throw your cap on things and possess them. I played Odyssey today,
and so I'll talk about that.
It just seems like the weirdest Mario game, and we're
gonna talk about it right now. Odyssey is fucking awesome. It's probably my most favorite game I played the entire show. It's super return to form.
Really?
Mario 64, open world, objective, quest-based levels. So not little tiny set piece stages like Mario World or anything. It's like full on, like, here's a whole big area, go get the stars, and this one is go get the moons,
okay, fair enough.
Go get this item. There's like quest givers per se, like NPCs in the levels, it's Mario 64 evolved. The hat mechanic is really cool. I played with the Joy-Con separated in 2 pieces. Basically, you flick your wrist to throw the hat. If you flick both of your wrists, you do like a spin attack. You've got the classic Mario 3.
Can you play without motion controls?
I think you can, but you have better control of the hat with motion controls because they worked well. I had no complaints with motion controls. Because you can add like some English to your hat shots. Like you could throw your hat and curve it to the right or to the left with little flicks of the wrist, and it worked like every time. Felt very responsive.
Right.
Like, I didn't feel like I was waggling and it did what I wanted this time, or it was really cool.
Yeah.
That game's freaking
I don't know
awesome.
if you hate
I possessed a Bullet Bill. I flew around the levels of Bullet Bill. Did the trailer? I can't remember. Did they show the Link to the Past type gameplay aspects? Did they show that?
Well, they showed him possessing a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh, we didn't get to do that in this demo. There's sections of the level I was in where basically you get sucked into the wall and it turns into old school Super Mario Brothers. It goes 2D from 3D. And you're like going through the walls, kind of like, remember Link in A Link Between Worlds? Do you remember that?
Interesting.
You essentially do that. It turns into a 2D Mario game, like Super Mario Brothers. It even has like the 8-bit graphics. Huh. This game, I had a shit-eating grin on my face.
I'm remembering now, they did show that, a little bit of that in the...
I didn't get to possess
in the demo. Like he's like running up a wall or whatever, and he's like an 8-bit character on the wall running up the...
Exactly. So I didn't get to possess a frog or a Goomba or stuff. I don't know if it's just because I didn't do it or if it wasn't just in this map yet. Because it was kind of like a training map. You got the classic ground pound. All the moves you'd expect Mario to have, he has, plus the hat stuff.
Interesting.
I'm super stoked with this game, and I can't get here soon enough. Yeah, it was so much fun. I also played Fire Emblem Warriors at Nintendo as well, so that was part of the press conference as well. Basically, the Fire Emblem version of Hyrule Warriors. Right. It was okay. It's not the Fire Emblem I want. I'll probably buy it because I love Fire Emblem characters, but it honestly just really feels...
Did you buy Hyrule Warriors?
No, I didn't buy Hyrule Warriors.
Me neither, but I kind of wanted to.
It's pretty. It's just, it very feels like just a bunch of button mashing and you're beating up a bunch of tools on the battlefield.
Right.
I feel like I'd like a more in-depth, like, more of like a God of War style combat, like just more depth to the comboing system. But it was cool.
Okay,
I didn't hate it. It's just, it's not. If I was going to play a 3D action game with my Fire Emblem characters, I'd like it to be more like designed worlds a la Ninja Gaiden or God of War or something, right?
Right.
So, I don't know. It was cool. I got to play that. It was neat. I finished that demo. I did not mind it. If it wasn't Fire Emblem, I probably would just skip it. And then, of course, we talked...
But because it's Fire Emblem, you're like...
I'm a sucker. We talked about Kingdom, Mario Rabbids. We played that. What else did they have there? They had Pokken Tournament. Didn't play that because it was out on Wii U. It's just the Switch version. Right. I got to see the new 2DS. It's pretty.
Is it just like the 3DS?
It's lighter. 2D? It's lighter. It feels very nice in the hands. It has better shoulder buttons. I just hate the color on it. That teal color is terrible. They had They had a couple demos on that. They had the new Mario Luigi game. They had what's that new Odyssey game? The new RPG they have coming out for 3DS or 2D.
Oh man.
I can't remember the name. I didn't play any of them because I'm like, I want to play Mario or I want to play this.
Right.
Man, Man, Mario is so good. I can't wait. Oh my god, there's so...
Well, that makes me happy, because like I was watching it going like, what the fuck is this?
So we got distracted from the press conference. New Yoshi, New Kirby, Fire Emblem Warriors, Mario Odyssey, and then they acknowledged, hey, we're working on a Switch game. Don't murder us in our sleep. It's coming. We're not ready to show anything. So there's an acknowledgement of that, because obviously everyone was disappointed from the Pokemon Direct the week before.
They did say, oh yeah, we're working on a proper RPG for the first time ever on a console.
And then, of course, the big giant bomb was the Metroid Prime 4 tease that basically the internet blew up. And really, it was nothing but a title card. And I think Nintendo won E3 with that. At least from the crazy video game gamers out there. And they're not crazy, because I want a Metroid Prime 4 as well. But it's funny how like a no game can make your press conference the best all of a sudden.
Yeah, to me it was interesting, because Metroid Prime, they were fine. I didn't mind them. I didn't think they were that good though. Really I'm happy to have another Metroid game, but I mean, this literally, they didn't even have a trailer. This was literally just the video is space and you fly through the middle of the 4, and then it just says Metroid Prime 4. And then underneath it says currently in development. Yeah. That's it. I mean, we're probably 2 years away from this still. That's or longer. Who knows? I mean, they showed more Zelda 3 years before it came out than they did with this one. So yeah, so we'll see. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what it comes to. I just thought, I didn't realize that there was that much pent up aggression for a.
Oh God, I don't know,
aggression, but
anticipation.
There was. Yes, I didn't realize there was that many people anticipating a Metroid Prime.
They didn't announce there was
or hoping
there's a
for
Metroid
one.
remake coming for 3DS that wasn't announced during their little press briefing. That was announced like just on their live stream.
Yeah, it got announced in the live stream after. Yeah. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was the one you're thinking of. Mm-hmm. That was their new, very much a JRPG, big new Xenoblade Chronicles game. They announced a new Kirby game, which actually looks really cool. Again, not till 2018.
Awesome. Yeah, that and Yoshi are both 2018. They didn't show off the new Fire Emblem at all, which that was what I was hoping for.
Almost everything in their press conference was next year, except
Mario
for
and Pokken Tournament.
And the DLC for Breath of the Wild. Oh, and Rocket League is actually coming later this year. So they showed
a big tease of the first Breath of the Wild DLC, but they showed a big trailer for the first DLC and just a tiny teaser for the second DLC, which is the one with the new dungeon and actual more story type content, I believe.
Yeah, the second piece is where they're that's the piece that they showed off at their conference.
Yeah, overall it was pretty good. They packed a lot in a half an hour and they made their fans very happy. The Switch looks to have a pretty bright future ahead of it. Yeah, and like you said, Rocket League as well, that's huge.
And get this. The Switch version of Rocket League is going to be cross-play with Xbox One and PC players.
Yay. Not Sony.
Not Sony. Sony is
they're
not
opting
playing
out.
ball
Just like with
Minecraft.
Just like with Minecraft, they're opting out of that as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. I saw that they had posted something about why they are. I haven't read it yet, so I'm kind of curious as to.
We're not giving anyone an excuse to not buy a PS4 because we're so much better. If you want to play on your PS4 friends, you have to buy a PS4. You can't cheat and be with your PS4 friends with any other system. That's how that statement goes without being said. Probably, obviously, the most important thing next to Mario Odyssey that Nintendo had in their booth was there's a shit ton of new amiibo coming.
Oh god.
There's new
amiibo.
Breath of the Wild amiibo. They're beautiful. There's new Mario Odyssey amiibo, which are beautiful. Fire Emblem amiibos. Oh man, new Metroid Prime amiibos, or Metroid amiibos for the 3DS game, I should say. They're so nice. I took so many photos. And Dane's done.
I don't care. Amiibos. Oh, you lost me at Amiibos.
Yeah, we had
I own one. So, it was
I guess
useless.
That was pretty much it for press conferences. I can say this show is insane with the public being here. Holy crap!
Yeah,
it's packed. It's huge.
I was gonna ask how bad
I've been so lucky
now.
that, like, considering I came here so last minute, we've essentially seen everything we want to see with, like, appointments and just like, hey,
right.
Rico, what's going on? Because it's all people we know from going to PAX so often. Like, oh yeah, come check it out. It's worked out really well because, like, I didn't have appointments for Ubisoft and they just, like, pulled us in the back room. I did have an appointment with Nintendo, and who else did have an appointment? We had the After Hours Microsoft thing, which basically got us, like I said, I played Forza 7, a bunch of games, Need for Speed Payback, which is basically a mix of Burnout and Need for Speed. It's Fast and Furious, but not. It seemed all right. It looked really cool.
Yeah, fair enough. It looks like they're just they just want to make a Fast and Furious game so bad.
I'm amazed. I'm so amazed that EA, Fast and Furious must want too much money for the license, or the actors aren't willing to play parts in the games without some stupid, ridiculous amount of money. I would assume are the barriers to a Fast and Furious game being made, because this game should be Fast and the Furious.
I'm amazed they can't just get the name, leave the actors out of it, and just do like almost a side story in the universe and call it Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, get new actors that potentially, who knows, if people really like it, could be like a whole spin-off movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, literally, it's Fast and the Furious. You're trying to, like, rob the cargo off of a rig on the highway. Yeah. Meanwhile, vehicles, like bodyguard vehicles, are trying to stop you, and you essentially burnout revenge them off the course. And it even does the slow motion.
I was watching it and I was like, holy shit, this is the fast. I mean, Burnout
slash Fast and the Furious slash Need for Speed slash Hot Pursuit, because of the cops as well.
Yeah, for sure.
It's pretty cool. It was
no, it does. It does look cool. It was just more funny than anything. I was like watching it. I was like, holy crap, this is a Fast and Furious in everything except the name.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Forza 7, oh my god. That game
looks dope.
Amazing. I have not played...
Did you get to play Gran Turismo Sport?
I played the VR version. I didn't play the normal version, so I can't compare them both visually. I'll have to go back to the booth tomorrow when I'm there and look at it to compare.
Did they say whether or not the whole game was going to be playable in VR, or if it was one of those?
You know what? Honestly, the guy working there was just a VR guy. He didn't know. I played a whole race course. There was 2 available, but like there was something like 20-something cars to choose from.
Oh wow!
It seems to be pretty feature rich. I did like a whole 3-lap race.
Okay, you didn't feel sick?
No. There's
awesome.
There's absolutely a visual downgrade. Because it's
obviously.
in VR, but it was pretty cool, especially with the steering wheel. Man, I got up and was like, I gotta buy a fucking steering wheel now. Is exactly what I told the guy in the booth. I'm like, God damn it, because it was cool. I don't know if it controls different or not. I've never played, because I don't play it with a steering wheel, so I can't really tell. But
oh, dude, it plays so cool.
It is cool with the steering wheel, because you get that.
Yeah,
you get that. You get that resistance when, like, you turn the wheel, crank it all the way. It feels
more like you're actually driving.
I think that was.
Yeah. No, I know.
I think that was a gunshot.
Oh,
dogs are barking. I don't know if that was on the podcast. Hopefully that's nowhere near here.
I don't think we heard it on here, but I didn't hear it from my side, so.
Or it was a car backfiring, hopefully. Sorry, I was just like listening to hear what's going on out there. I can't tell.
No worries.
We're talking. Yeah, the VR thing was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. I made that a priority over playing the normal one because they only had like 4 demo slots for it. So it's like probably one of the harder things to try out on the show floor here.
Right.
But what were we say? I was trying to tell you how cramped it is here. Right? Or did I get over that? I can't remember now. I'm confused because someone's getting shot down the street from me.
Or might be shot down the street from you. Right.
It's very packed. There's a lot of people here. I've never seen so many people.
Well, it makes sense when you open it up to 15,000 more people that are open to the public.
It definitely feels like a PAX. That tons of bodies. People, some of the older vets of the show and industry people and media people have just been complaining on social media. They're like, "Oh, this is so lame," and this and that. And it's just like, man, just be happy for these people get to experience this for the first time, which is the boat I'm in. I don't care. Like, to be honest, if you're a veteran of this show, you have appointments. There being more people here doesn't affect you.
Just trying to get from one place to another can be a giant pain, though.
Jesus Christ, there was another one.
That time I heard it.
I'm kind of scared for my life now.
Where the hell is your guys' Airbnb at?
I don't know. Hell, it's really hot in here.
Wow.
Man, that's really distracting. I don't know if it's a gunfire or a freaking car backfiring or someone just smashing, banging something. It's hard to tell. Yeah, that was cool. Sorry, everyone. I just totally pulled me off the tracks. Talked about Destiny. We talked about Detroit. Gonna go see Spider-Man tomorrow. They have probably the coolest booth in the whole show. I haven't posted a photo. I will on Twitter. Basically, there's like a helicopter in the Sony stage being held up by webbing and Spider-Man's on it. It's really That's really awesome. Intricate. We went over the Nintendo stuff. Talked about the Ubisoft stuff. Oh, I played Assassin's Creed Origins. There's loot. It's Assassin's Creed with loot and RPG mechanics. And a really cool eagle friend that scans the environment for you from up above, which is pretty cool. It is very, very pretty. It
looks beautiful from the videos and stuff I've seen.
I don't
already.
know if I was just playing like an open world section or what I was playing. It seemed to be just a particular mission. I like it. I think I'm on board. Yeah, it looks really cool. It looks amazing. Like, it looks... I don't know, man. These games are getting so detailed. Just even, like, Horizon is kind of like the first one through the gates with this whole other level of detail that we're seeing in these games. Is just getting unreal. And Assassin's Creed it looks fantastic.
Yeah, it
was a Xbox One X that I was playing on. I don't know if they have a different demo in the Ubisoft booth, but it's Assassin's Creed with the new RPG mechanics. Like, I leveled up. I got like purple rare loot and weapons that I equipped. I didn't really get into the skill trees and shit.
Yeah, well, because they showed off that there's now enemies have levels and you have a level, and so they've showed that all off now.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited for that. That was a nice surprise when I saw it in the press conference. I'm like, oh, this looks pretty cool. This is some advancement in this franchise that I'm looking forward to. Mm-hmm. That Dragon Fighter Z I played as well. That game looks unreal. That game's like a Dragon Ball Z comic come to life, or cartoon.
I know. I couldn't believe... Initially, I thought it was just a big video, and then I realized, holy shit, that's gameplay.
It's got such cool effects. The battles just they look insane when you're watching a fight. Like, I played it. I beat this French guy at it twice. It's 3-on-3 side scroller,
right?
Street Fighter-esque kind of combat. It's the running joke around the show floor here is this should be Marvel versus Capcom 4 or Infinite, because it seems
right.
that the community is very split on the Marvel versus Capcom Infinite, which is here. I haven't played it.
Okay, fair enough.
Everyone's in love with this Dragon Ball Z game. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I was button mashing so I'm lucky I managed to beat the guy, but it looks fucking cool when you're button mashing. Like the giant combos and crazy over the top superpowers. You punch people through buildings. Oh,
of course, man. It's a Dragon Ball Z game.
I don't know anything about Dragon Ball, and I'm like, man, I hear good things about the show. I think I'm a fucking idiot for missing this one.
Well, not necessarily.
What?
I love the show, and I watched a lot of that show back in the day, but at the same time, yeah. It is what it is.
Trying to remember what else Microsoft had that I might have played. It's just been a whirlwind of a trip. It's been, considering how last minute this all came together, it's been pretty freaking awesome. I had a great time. I've made some new cool friends down here that, I'm sure
that's awesome.
We'll hook up with them again if we ever come to an E3. Absolutely. So Microsoft, I'm trying to rewind events here. I played more at the Microsoft booth. Dragon Ball. See, I should have taken the goddamn list. I haven't gone through my photos on my camera yet, and that's kind of like my memory. And I got to do Far Cry tomorrow. I know I'm forgetting some shit right now. I'm just having a huge brain fart. I'm so sorry.
Don't even worry about it, man. You're there. You got tons of stuff to see.
Yeah, we have one more day.
And,
so this is, we're recording this on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
We're going tomorrow, wrap up a few more things. And Shadow of War is here. Troy Baker was on stage talking about it, which was kind of cool. That was just in the conference hall.
Right, yeah.
We went and saw the Hideo Kojima panel. He was being interviewed by the director of Kong Island, who is directing the Metal Gear movie. It was a neat panel. It was Kojima talking. It was primarily a lot to do with his movie influences and how they affect his game making process. And
well, he's a huge. He loves.
That's
movies.
What I can't remember the director's name. Forgive me, but he was saying how he's a new up and comer in Hollywood, right? And he says he's very disappointed by when he meets actors, actresses, and other people in the industry, how little classic or Hollywood love or history they even know about. He'll ask, what's your favorite movie? And it'll be something that was released in the last year. Who's your favorite actress? Angelina Jolie. And he's just
right.
He was just commenting on how Hideo Kojima probably has the deepest knowledge of cinema in general from the oldest classics,
constantly watching
from the classics to the modern stuff. He said it's unbelievable how much he knows and loves and respects from movies. He says he's a knowledge, a fountain of knowledge compared to no other person he's even met in Hollywood. And it's it's not even his primary language, right? He's so impressed.
Yeah, no.
So they were really geeking out, and he was
that's
it
cool,
was
man.
Pretty cool.
Because I know with him, with Metal Gear Solid, the original Metal Gear Solid, he based the cover of Metal Gear Solid off of the cover of Michael Biehn in Navy SEALs, for example, and it's just stuff like that. You're really? It's cool.
Yeah, that was a cool panel. Yeah. We went to that today. It's been a cool fucking trip, man. I'm so happy I got here. it is like literally a lot of stuff lined up. Like it's like the stars aligned, and it's been a pretty unreal trip. I ran into the Filthy Casual peeps today. We were chatting.
Right on.
That was cool.
My boys and girl.
Jason and
Jason came down.
And who else? And Mike and Brett. They're all here.
Oh, yeah.
The lady friends.
Oh, they're all there, man. Yeah, Brent's there. The whole crew.
I ran into some random cosplayers and YouTubers.
Awesome.
What else? I'm kind of dry. I'm getting pretty tired. We've been up pretty early, so overall,
fair enough.
The press conferences were not as crazy as last year. The show floor is insane with the whole public aspect. I will remember more stuff that I've played for obviously the next show. There'll be more information on a lot of this stuff, and my old man brain will remember once I start editing the photos on my camera. I really meant to jot down a list. I got a lot of the major stuff though that I really wanted to see, which is, made me super happy.
That's awesome.
Do you have any questions?
No, I mean, I think we pretty much covered all the questions that I kind of had about the things that I had, at least
there
off
wasn't
the top
something
of my
I
head.
didn't mention that I should go check out that you can think of off the top of your head?
I'm super curious to check out Ace Combat 7 in VR.
They don't have it here in VR. It's in the Creative Labs booth. I did see it running on PC.
Okay. It
looks really cool. It's very pretty.
I've heard it's
actually I recorded some
awesome
gameplay footage of it. Actually, I didn't play it. But they don't have it in VR. That's honestly, I really did want to see that in VR to see if it.
Because I'm hearing you can play the whole game.
Yeah,
in VR,
if it's a Resident Evil 7, play the whole campaign. It's probably going to be pretty high up there, pretty close to being a killer app. It did get delayed, didn't it, until next year?
It's possible, and I have not been paying attention. Either way, if it's that for me, as long as it's not a big steaming pile, that's going to be something I want to
Battle Chasers is here.
I've loved those games for sure. Oh, I know Battle Chasers is there. Joe Mad was in the booth, showing it off. It's in the
Microsoft booth. I could have played it.
So
I didn't
jealous.
want to play it because I know I want that game. I don't want any spoilers for when it comes out.
I know that's where I'm at with it now too. I'm like, okay, I've played what I've played. I know it's amazing, and now from here on, I just want the game to come out. So,
yeah,
But yeah, I know Joe Mad's there showing it off.
I haven't seen him in particular, but there's a lot of fucking cool cars here too, though. Oh my god. The Sony has like a gear store outside of the convention center where you could just go buy like Sony brand franchise gear.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Fanboy resupply booth. And they have a Mercedes. What is it? I got a picture of it here. I'm just looking at it. I got to be able to zoom in. It's a Mercedes GTR. Some red thing with big gills and a big ass fin on the back. It looks beautiful. Yeah. Oh, it's super sexy.
That it is. That's a beautiful car.
They have a Le Mans car in the lobby too for Forza 7.
Oh, that's dope.
I took some photos of it.
Must have been last year's Le Mans because that's happening this weekend.
Schaefer. Does that name mean anything? Schaeffler. It's a white, red, and black Porsche. Chopard Le Mans #1.
Oh, Chopard. Yeah, very nice.
One Chopard official timing partner. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I'll post. I don't have very good internet, so we're kind of fumbling through this as well. So I will get photo galleries and stuff up when I get back home, and then I'll hopefully write some stories, or actually even probably record some stories when I have a chance. I just haven't had good internet, which has kind of limited some of the stuff I can do, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Internet's useless on the show floor.
Well, yeah, of course. That I'm not surprised with.
Got lots of photos with mascots and selfies and being a jackass. The Nintendo booth is all done up like New Donk City. Their booth is so weird. You can barely walk around their booth.
Wow.
It's actually Sony and Nintendo's booth like barely have any room. That's about it, my friend. I'm gonna play some more games tomorrow. I'll obviously have more to talk about next week.
I'll have probably a more normal show next week, but this week we're doing a E3 because we
special
can.
feed on the street. A reporter Rico live from E3, direct to your ear holes. Everyone. I think we'll just end that here and pick up next week with obviously more E3 talks. If you listen to this and have any questions, obviously send them in for the next show. If you have more questions about what I talked about, or obviously I won't. Well, if you hit me up on Twitter before I leave, I could pretend. I don't think that's going to work. Well, it depends. I might get this up tonight, so people might have time to listen to this and hit me up while I'm actually on the show floor. So just follow me on Twitter at RickFNoK, RICF.
And you can always come bug me on Twitter at Dane Cody, at DAYNECODY.
Make sure to like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube. It's at Geekoholics everywhere. And of course, leave a review wherever you can. That helps the show get more listeners, of course. And tell a friend. And of course, thanks for listening and being patient with my stupid ass. Hopefully I don't get shot and make it home.
That would be ideal.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. We'll chat at you next week.
Woo, E3.
Peace.
Are you a beast? Are you a least? You ready to feast? Or do you want peace? Not the least. Do you think you number one? Can you keep it 100? 0 to 100. Show me how much you want it. Some people never have trouble. That's why they don't know what the struggle is. Not me, I had to hustle. Now I'm getting money like Russell did. Making them sacrifices. No matter what